All right, then we're back to the Savannah Business Showcase. Thank you guys for sticking around, joining us. I'm here once again with Tom Kenkel, Kenkel Design and president of LDSS, which is the Lowcountry Down Syndrome Society, and president of BNI Savannah Business Connection. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put them through the lightning round. Are you ready?
As I'll ever be.
Okay. All right. So the basis of it, you can just a bunch of random questions, hopefully to inspire the listeners, hopefully to educate the listeners.
Great.
Yeah, we'll just get started. You can answer them as short or as long as you want to. What did you want to be as a kid, and how does that relate to your current business?
Probably a paleontologist.
Okay.
Because of dinosaurs, and gosh, it doesn't relate at all. Although, there's this one drawing that I made as a kid of like a moon base, and also not really related, but I really enjoy seeing what Elon Musk is doing very publicly. That's fun.
That's gonna be crazy. You think it's a real person in the car?
Huh?
The car?
A real person?
Some people say it's like, never mind. Okay, conspiracy theories. Yeah, exactly. Cool. All right. So your Kenkel Design logo? Is that like a dinosaur then?
No, it's a question mark, and there's two little quotes, and they come together to form a K. And it's the idea is design is about kind of questioning solutions, coming up with answers, and just a repeated process of this like question and answer, and it may never be like really finished.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense now. Because I looked at it and I saw like an eye, and I saw like a bird, like a raptor almost. But yeah, okay.
I like that too.
Text.
Yeah. Turn it into a dinosaur. Cool.
How have you approached failure in life?
Oh, you're gonna get egg on your face, and so you just kind of suck it up and get back up and keep going.
Yeah. Simple enough.
Yeah.
Who influenced you early in life, and who's your mentor now?
It's got to be my dad, and my two grandfathers are I think big influences, and none of them are artists. Anyway, mom's dad kind of was, and now I think. We've got some of the guys at Lowcountry Down Syndrome Society I definitely consider mentors, and I guess now you guys know. Tom Kohler, I think, is an excellent, awesome and inspirational individual locally. Marjorie Young. Yeah, while maybe not mentors specifically, I sure appreciate what they do, and look at ways that I can kind of model myself and my business after some of the things they do.
Brilliant. And that's a big blessing that you had like both your grandfathers in your life, because I didn't. I have my wife's grandfather. He's been awesome, but he's it's still not one to influence me on the way up. So that's a pretty big blessing right there to grow with both your grandfathers and father and everything.
Father, absolutely.
So tell me a story about a failure.
Time management is a really big issue as a solopreneur, right? And so there have been a number of times when time management has really kicked my butt, and I have failed on a number of occasions around that. But each time you try to assess what went wrong, and if you're working for a client, you try to make it right. If you can't, well, you just learn and implement procedures to not make it harder for that failure to happen again.
Yeah. Okay, so that is a failure stumbling block that most entrepreneurs have. So like, what advice do you give to any of the listeners out there who are about to be in the same situation where they just have a lot going on, a lot of great things like you do, but time management still is just like, what advice do you have?
So you just look at what works for you. I know that I work with a woman who is not tech savvy, but man, she can write notes and she can keep things straight and and organized in her way. She used the word Rolodex the other day, which, if it works for you, then then do it. Right. And this woman has a ton going on. So, and she's juggling it all, and so that works for her. I use Reminders app and the Notes app and emails, and I live by the calendar, and that's how I'm trying to keep track of everything. As I get more involved with LDSS, and we look at ways to kind of, ramp up projects within that organization, there are more tools that we're looking at that improve communication and just project management.
Got you. Okay. Good.
Yeah, just don't give up.
Yeah. You might have already told us this, but how did you get your first client, or do you remember?
Craigslist. So It was a local kitchen and bath design shop, and I believe they reached out because they wanted help with email campaigns, and I helped them with some email campaigns. I remember it was the first time that I got to see this like fully automated toilet, which I thought was just crazy.
So how was it fully automated? Did it like just flush on its own, like normal?
Like you approach it, it opens. I don't know if you tell it what you need to do. And lights up and probably plays music and then does all the like post,
That's crazy.
Anyway,
yeah,
post-production.
That's pretty good. Okay, so the back step really quick. So what else do you do? So you said you do email campaign.
Yeah.
But you also do design work. So what all do you do? What all services do you offer?
It's a lot. So graphic design, from corporate identity to, postcards and billboards. I was pretty excited to meet the guys with Top Tint, because they are doing some like awesome vehicle wraps. They're in Pooler, and so one of the projects that I've done a little bit in the past, like I did a vehicle wrap for a storm chaser in Tulsa, with the storm chasing Honda Element in Tulsa, which is kind of cool, right? They're chasing after tornadoes, and they've got my vehicle wrap on their car. And so I'd like to do some of that. It's certainly something I can do, and Top Tint would then apply it to whatever great vehicle you have. And so corporate identity to billboards to all kinds of kind of visual marketing materials, whether it's in print or online.
Gotcha.
So you have email campaigns. Email signatures is something that it's a small thing, and not too difficult to implement, but like a really easy marketing tool, because you're sending your email all the time.
That's true.
And if you can put some links in there and encourage your recipients to, I've got my LinkedIn there, and some other clients have Instagram, or a link to give them a Google review or something like that.
Awesome. Okay.
Just
okay. So anything from the major stuff like billboards all the way down to the small details.
Right. Because when it comes to design, you're working in your software and doing a billboard. So for instance, for the Savannah Center for Blind and Low Vision, they had an event called Dining in the Dark, and I have all kinds of assets, marketing or design assets for Dining in the Dark, and in one kind of document, and the one graphic, it goes to a billboard that's displayed on 516, and the other thing goes to a little digital ad on an online publication. And so when you say like the big stuff like a billboard, it is large format, but it's not any kind of different. It's a little different, right? There are some different considerations, but it's not a whole lot different than making a small ad in an email campaign or a website banner.
Okay, awesome. All right, so back to the lightning round. This might be a good question. So what are you going to teach your your daughter or any other kids you might have? Like, what are you going to teach them about business and being an entrepreneur? Or are you?
Oh, well, so if they approach me and they have questions, I'll do my best to answer. I think that trying to take care of your customers, that's the thing. You have to communicate clearly, and you have to do good work, and follow up is like follow up. Gosh, that's really essential. Send a thank you note, make a phone call, send an email, whatever. Just do some simple thing to make sure that you're following up with people. Just show that you care a little bit more than your competition. Yeah. And so if Emily wants to start a business, it'll basically be the same thing. I will hold her. I'll hold her to the same expectations, and she may need extra help, but it'll be on her to figure that out, and to ask me to find the help or to find it herself. She's 3, so I'm sure things are going to change in 13 years or something. That's true. What was the question?
No, you answered it. Yeah, okay, you answered it, but I thought you were going to go.
I was, but I lost my... Anyway.
Do you know of any entrepreneurs who are like individuals who are differently abled? Because I know they're comedians. I know they're actors. I know they're musicians and stuff like that. But are there... What if they're any small business owners?
I don't know of locally. I think famously there's a guy named John who has John's Crazy Socks. Okay. Right, and he has Down syndrome. There's a lot of folks. So I'm tied into Down syndrome. I learned from Progressive Abilities that there are a lot of folks with autism that they have their own business, and actually in terms of employment of people with disabilities or different abilities, self-employment is it's a major thing to pursue. It's a major. Wow, sorry guys, I'm drawing a blank on how to phrase that. I think I understand what you're saying. I get it. It's a good option for people to. It's often a good option for people to be able to pursue.
Got you. Awesome. Okay, a few more really quick, and then we'll let you get out of here. Favorite book?
Shogun was one that was the last really good book that I read by James Clavell. Okay. I believe.
Shogun.
Yeah.
What is it about, briefly?
Oh yeah, it's about let's see. The guy was. It's about either it was the English or maybe Dutch sailor that shipwrecks on Japan, and he is kind of brought into their culture in a way, and so he explores feudal Japan and.
Gotcha. Okay.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Awesome. So there's two more. There is a concept called the 80-20 principle, Pareto's Principle. 20% of your actions equal 80% of your results. So in your business or at either or, whichever one you like to do, either at your business or with the LDSS, what is the 20% of things you do, the small things you do that get you the most results?
Again, I think the follow-up, right? So thank you notes and emails and phone calls. That's an easy thing to overlook. It doesn't take much, but it sure can go a long way.
Okay. And the last question. If you had a superpower or ability, what would you choose and why?
Oh man, so this question is all over Reddit, and there are some really clever answers that I should be able to come up with, but it's I don't know, time travel maybe. Okay. And why? Shoot. So let me do some research on Reddit, because there's definitely a trick to this. It's definitely a trick question, because there is a superpower that lets you have all of the superpowers,
Okay.
and that's the one I want. But
Okay.
I want to make sure I answer correctly.
Most people just say fly. And I think for entrepreneurs, it's a freedom aspect to it. Just to be able to, we want freedom from the stress of work and just when we want it. But also, I think it's the only one without a downside to fly. Yeah.
No downside?
No downside to flying.
Okay.
Maybe.
But,
in my head, there's no downside to flying.
No, I mean, so like Iron Man comes to mind. He can fly, and there's like no downside to Iron Man flying around. So he's not superpower, right? Like,
That's
I
true.
Get that.
That's true. This is the most philosophical I've been about this question. And I've asked it at least 50 times, and it's awesome. All right, okay, awesome. Thank you, Tom, for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks again.
Yeah,
For having me.
Okay, so how can people find you? How can they get in touch with you or involved?
Right, so Lowcountry Down Syndrome Society, that's LDSSGA.org. Night of Champions, again, that's nightofchampions.org. And Kenkel Design is KENKEL design.com. Those are the best ways. Find BNI Savannah Business Connection. I'm there every Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Tom, for being on the show again. To everyone out there listening, as always, go out and be the change you want to see in the world. Try to do something impactful this week. Trying to help somebody that's close to you. If you want to do something major in the world, you don't have to do anything on a large scale. You can help somebody just right down the street from you. So go out there, spread love. I love you guys, and I'll see you next week. All right. Thanks.